And if a youngster has never really experienced both this feeling of himself in the environment, that is, say, he senses the nearest thing he's ever going to sense to what is called God, is when he's out there with tall mountains around and the night glaciers gleaming under the stars, and this feeling of tremendous relation to something bigger than anything he could ever conceive and bigger than city values, and that he can share this sense of wonder with other kids is a marvelous opportunity. And for a kid to go to a place like this and be charged up is an experience that he'll remember all his life long.
The importance, I think, of understanding the environment and what it contains, from the smallest frog or insect to the mightiest of the Sitka spruce trees, is one's connection with it. When you feel connected to something, you care about it. When it comes to issues such as the environment, then you care enough to be involved. It's vitally important that the upcoming generation, whatever the age, feel a part of the environment, know that they are a part of the environment, that no thing is independent from any other.
Established in 1969, North Vancouver School District's outdoor school is a learning center for all seasons. The school is situated 80 kilometers north of Vancouver between Squamish and Whistler. From its inception, the outdoor school has engaged thousands of people in its dynamic hands-on programs.
This is a big coho male. Yeah, looks like a female. You don't have to explain to children that there's an environmental crisis in the world today. They know it's there. They need to connect up to why it's there and to learn how to do things differently. And we don't know what little gem or experience will teach them to appreciate it, but they only get it by being in nature.
Inside these cones are the seeds that...
I think it's very important for the young people today to have an exposure to the real wilderness. We're so conditioned to living in a city that we lose some of the magic of going out and seeing nature and being able to appreciate nature.
Outdoor school activity is based upon 6 distinctive seasonal rhythms defined by major events, which are the natural gifts of the site. The season of preparation for winter takes place in September and October. The season of salmon spawning occurs in November and December. January and February witness the season of bald eagle congregation, while March and April herald the season of birth. The season of growth proceeds through May and June, and a year's cycle is completed in July and August with the season of summer's respite. Throughout these seasons, the programs of outdoor school are rooted in the larger goals of developing cooperation, both individually and globally, understanding the interaction among communities, and appreciating the continuity of life. This philosophy, centered on cooperation, community, and continuity, is woven into all outdoor school activities and is seen as being crucial to the survival of our species.
Being a country that is rich in natural resources, we, more than anybody else, should be enacting processes of education that would help us preserve what we do have left, because if we don't, we're going to have nothing. We need something that helps put our children back on their spiritual values and in respect for Mother Nature, respect for themselves, the understanding of all the kind of ethics that come out of the outdoor school.
North Vancouver Outdoor School encompasses 165 hectares of extensive trails, spawning channels, virgin forests, ponds, and riverine habitats. Numerous facilities, such as a fish hatchery, a farm, A Salish big house, a conference center, recreational facilities, and laboratory classrooms further promote instruction and learning.
How many times have you walked through the woods, for example, and not seen anything until you're with somebody who can point things out? If you have a school environment where you're learning as you're walking through the woods, it's very different than being on your own, even if you're living in a beautiful place.
The world of nature is actually the real world. The world of man is a tiny little, almost incrustation on the true world of nature. Nature is so varied, so complex. Nature is not only more complicated than we understand, nature is more complicated than we can understand.
The underlying theme of the school is to develop a sense of responsibility for ourselves and the influence we have on the earth. The North Vancouver Outdoor School stands as a lighthouse, guiding us towards such a future. The harvesting of honey and fruit, the migration of birds, and the storage of winter foods herald preparation for winter. Like most BC public schools, this is when the year begins for outdoor school.
Most of what we've talked about in leadership session here at the workshop has to do primarily with what do we do with kids and how do we anticipate situations before they happen. When you're outside and working with students in a field study situation and you're the ones that...
From a young learner's perspective, a successful environmental study week at outdoor school is filled with memories of senior high school or alumni counselors.
Difficulty, there's always a backup.
To become a counselor, one must go through an extensive selection process. Part of that process involves training by staff and alumni at one of the weekend workshops held throughout the year.
You're going to be showing the kids where the front of the boat is and where the back of the boat is. The stickers in the front, there's a lot of space for your knees when you're sitting with your rear end against the seat, okay? If you're facing the wrong way, then there's not going to be a lot of space for you. But
we're going to do tie-dyeing today. And this is your product. You're going to get a
30% of the senior high school students from North Vancouver volunteer to do this leadership work with younger students. Many continue this work as alumni well into their adult life.
Okay, the third and final call in archery is aim and fire when ready. To do that, you want to grip the arrow just between your fingertips. What you don't want to do is this. When you try to shoot the arrow, you'll tend to take some skin off your fingers. So just fingertips. You can tilt the bow a little, pull back, and fire.
Okay, that's it. 1, 2, 3, back away.
Okay, recule. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, on y va.
Oh.
No.
Get ready, get ready. Yeah. Get it. Yeah. Okay, good.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, not right underneath. That's it. Good position. Okay, good.
A thorough outdoor school program requires a motivated and informed teaching team. Visiting teachers cooperatively design and implement a program plan with both the resident program and professional facility staff. The hands-on in-service for teachers means that learners can be properly prepared for an upcoming experience based upon the most effective use of outdoor school amenities.
Good morning, salmon scientists. We are going to be going to a very special place in 2 weeks' time. Who knows the name of that very special place? Katie?
Outdoor school.
Who can tell us one of the 4 sessions that we will be doing at outdoor school? Megan?
Salmon.
Salmon. We'll be studying the salmon in 2 separate places, the hatchery and the river.
No matter what the season or field study program that learners will be engaged in at outdoor school, it all begins in the classroom.
Okay, we're talking about the tails for swimming. What does the tail do? Cheryl?
This tail is also used for steering.
Tails for steering and what else?
His sisters had taught him how to catch minnows with a strainer. But this year, his father had given him a fishing pole of his own, and he had been fishing for salmon every day.
He hadn't caught a single salmon. Now it was September,
It was the time of year when many salmon were swimming past the island where Simon lived near the west coast of Canada.
Je voudrais vous demander si vous connaissez la libellule et que vous nous racontiez un peu vos expériences avec des libellules.
On lit dans le livre avec un garçon qui s'appelle Baluchon.
A visit to outdoor school is not an isolated activity, but integral to a wide range of learning experiences. Classroom instruction provides a foundation.
Pigs in a puddle, pigs in a puddle, slosh, 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 pigs in a puddle.
About a baby pig who's a runt and he's really stupid.
Yeah, no, he likes to eat orange peels.
Yeah. And potato peels.
Yeah, you can write that down.
What else should we write about? His sisters made him run away. He ran away because his sisters bugged him too much.
Rolling in the mud, rolling in the mud, cool and squishy, cool and squishy.
With your neighbor, I would like you to talk about the different things that you think that the Indians did during the seasons in the Longhouse.
In the Tsleil-waututh program, children have the opportunity to explore another way of life. Here is a chance to learn about environmental influences on traditional cultures.
Blackberries, salmon berries. In spring, there's the dance for rebirth. They collected herring eggs on rows. They caught salmon, gathered firewood, hunted. In the winter, they told myths and legends. They had ceremonies and potlatches.
After hours of anticipation and thorough preparation by staff and students, the day finally arrives for the departure for outdoor school. The trip to outdoor school may be by highway coach or by BC Rail, but the journey itself really begins in the imaginations of the participants.
I'm not a great fan of fish, but even if I don't like it, I'll try to force it down. My dad said I should try everything up there. He didn't say I had to like it, but he said I had to try it.
Each year, visiting teachers, hundreds of volunteers, over 4,000 guests, and 5,200 school students attend outdoor school.
As you go into the lawn house, you're going to find everything in there from the cedar tree. For most of you, you've never been in a lawn house. The native people long ago would prepare themselves using the cedar branch before they would go to a new place or go do their gathering of materials. I welcome you to the Tsleil-waututh. There are 5 families living together in this lawn house. This family fire is the cedar bark family fire. The next family fire is the food gathering family fire. And the next one is the fishers and the hunters.
We as Native people never took from the earth without first giving thanks to the Great Spirit, Creator, or God, whatever you wish to call it, for being able to have permission to take that thing. We didn't take it in an abusive way. We only took what we needed and we used it to its fullest extent. The piece of education that you can take as a young child and apply it to a city living. Because if we all only took from the city what we needed and used this full extent of it and even shared it after what we had left over, the world would be a much different place.
The earth provided everything they wanted, everything they needed. So it was extremely important to understand and respect, and I think that's the most important word, is respect.
With late autumn rains and the rise in the flow of the Tsleil-waututh River, we enter the season of salmon spawning.
Now, do you think there's room between the rocks for the salmon eggs to be?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's spaces in there. Do you think that the water could flow down between the rocks?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do the eggs need to get out of the water?
Oxygen.
Oxygen.
North Vancouver School District fosters an extensive salmonid enhancement program, which includes in-class hatcheries in every school. Outdoor School provides another dimension to those classroom experiences with its spawning channels and mini hatchery.
Let's check it out. Oh, it's a beauty.
Children become actively involved in collecting eggs for the salmon hatchery and learn to differentiate between male and female salmon. Students net those fish ready for spawning and participate in an egg take.
So we put the knife in there, cut down through here, get down along the belly. Now, do you just want to reach in there, Brian? Try to stand back so the kids can see when you do it, too. Now, this is quite something. How does it feel rubbing your hands in there, Brian? Slimy.
Yeah. Brian is very brave to do a thing like that.
Yeah, very, very brave.
The students play a part in the continuation of the salmon life cycle.
But hold the bucket out as soon as I get the stream going. Okay. Here we go. See? You can hold it way back there and it's fine. That's a lot of milk.
Having had these experiences, a child's sense of environmental responsibility and appreciation will enhance future understanding.
Stir all around slowly, slowly, so that every single egg will have at least one sperm cell right next to it.
They have touched another life and promoted a new cycle through cooperation.
Now I'm going to be pouring in water, and the actual moment of fertilization will take place as soon as the water comes in contact with the eggs.
In the 7 years that I've been here, the students have been 93 to 97% successful, taking those eggs from fertilization to fry that they can release.
Educators from all over the world visit the school and learn by its example.
We have a brand new project that we perhaps will be building right in here called a silviculture nursery, where the children will be doing the same thing with little trees. So we'll just cross the road over here.
These visits have included educators from Japan, Germany, the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, the United States, and other parts of Canada.
Really, this is a big house.
The outdoor school has gained an international reputation for excellence in education. As the winds of winter dance with the last clinging leaves of the cottonwoods at river's edge, the season of bald eagle congregation begins. The Squamish River watershed provides a habitat for the second largest concentration of wintering bald eagles in North America. They come to scavenge on salmon that die after spawning.
When I look at outdoor education, children that don't have it, I think, are sadly lacking, missing something. For a large part, I know a lot of children in the city never get out to experience what nature has. And I think this kind of program should be in every school in this province.
Eagles feed on dead salmon, and the rebirth of forests comes from decaying stumps and logs. At outdoor school, the continuity between life and death, growth and decay is ever present.
The good things about trees when they die is they put things back into the soil. To do that, they have to go through the decaying process. And all living matter, when it dies, has to decay.
The roots.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if the
They're
roots
getting
start to
soft.
decay,
I know,
and as
but-
Sandra pointed out, the whole stump is being decayed at once. It's not like we start here and we work our way down. The decay is taking place all around the stump.
The warming rays of a New Year's sun mark the beginning of the fourth season at outdoor school. In the forest, on the farm, in the salmon hatchery, and in the spawning channel, spring's arrival is marked by a season of birth.
This little guy is called a red rock. Red from Dad, who's a big red guy. Black from the mom. The reason I have these little guys is because, see that little white dome? All the boys have that little white on top of their head. all the girls have straight black heads. Looking at the size of her, I'd say we've got in here. Hey, I bet you we've got in there two. I'll bet you anything 3. It's kind of like fingernails. See that? The center is nice and soft, just like the palm of your hand. But what happens is these guys were never supposed to be walking around on wet fields. If they were in the wilds, they would spend their whole life living up on rocks. Well, when they're walking on the rocks, they keep their fingernails worn down.
In the Tsleil-waututh program, each family group prepares part of the communal meal. This shared feast is conducted in a traditional manner.
That's not how you peel a carrot. Do you want me to peel the carrot? No. How do you think they cook potatoes? Well, they probably did something like you get a bent box and you put a whole bunch of water in it, then you put rocks in it, and then you put the potatoes in once it's really, really hot.
Children are told about the importance of sharing. Thanks is given to the land for providing for their needs.
When the old people spoke, everyone listened.
My dad, I used to ask him to tell me the story about the two-headed snake. I always asked for that one. Because this house, maybe.
The faces of the past are like leaves that settle to the ground. They make the earth rich and thick so that new fruit will come forth every summer.
The increasing energy of spring sunlight, in combination with the recycled nutrients of winter decomposition, fosters yet another rhythm, the season of growth. There are many ways of learning about cooperation, community, and continuity. At Outdoor School, learners have the opportunity to experience activities which can become lifelong recreational pursuits. In particular, the goal is to heighten a student's awareness and concern for the natural environment.
This turns into this.
Really? Oh, that's so neat. Holy cow. It'd be neat, though, to see it all.
It's just weird.
Yeah. It feels like real paper. It's a little bumpy, though.
The variety of activities developed at Outdoor School are not common fare in most schools. Paper making, canoeing, outdoor living skills, cooperative games, archery, hiking, raku pottery, and natural fiber weaving might be afternoon recreations. Night walks, folk dancing, environmental skits, and campfires often fill the students' evenings.
I just want to ride on my motorcycle.
These experiences provide new ways of observing, thinking, and relating. The emphasis is on social and environmental interaction.
The children in actually living together with these role model adults develop within themselves this wonderful sense of community and cooperation. They can see it's a natural, normal part of nature.
Can you guys see anything here that the tree is helping to live?
Little trees?
Yeah, right. Okay, what kind of trees do you see?
Cedar, hemlock, and alder.
Personal growth is evident among the younger students and the counselors who lead them. With continual guidance from Outdoor School staff, these experiences allow learners to explore relationships and to grow in confidence.
Let me look at it. So sweet. Oh, caught something. It's a fly. What's this? Dead, probably. How do you get it in?
You just push it, take it out.
Don't waste that yolk. Maybe we can all look at it.
During the season of summer respite, school vacation does not bring a halt to the investigations and discovery. The Outdoor School continues as a center of learning for various community groups. These groups would normally use the school on holidays and weekends or utilize the conference center during the school year. A number of international groups come to Outdoor School and benefit from its expertise in hands-on experiences. Among these are Japanese exchange students who enjoy both social and academic interaction.
You can't walk more than 2 or 3 feet and not learn something that you didn't know before. So again, it's opening your eyes up to things. It might be there, but you might not take the chance to actually experience it until you're taught.
ほら、こっちは耳まっすぐ。でもこっちはギザギザ。ギザギザ。面白い。これでも磨けるのかな。
Learners of all ages can appreciate the informal atmosphere and hands-on activities influenced by the rhythms of the seasons.
Look at the river. Yeah, these pictures were taken about 1971. See, we still come by bus the same as we used to.
The outdoor school facilitates the needs of diverse groups.
You can make the pirate, or who wants to make a massive kitty cat?
To get them to work together, to cooperate together, to have an awareness and appreciation that we are dependent on one another.
For the participants in every group at the North Vancouver Outdoor School, there is an environment which nurtures indelible memories. Memories which will stay with them through all the seasons of their lives.
The context is the environment itself. So you take a student experience into that environment rather than trying to take the environment into the student experience. You're dealing with the whole picture and you're seeing how complex it is in that situation.
Learning is so much better done when it is a hands-on, something learned by doing and by seeing and touching and handling, I think stays with a child far more than anything on a blackboard or in a book.
They will remember what they were taught about butterflies and about bird life and about nature. They'll learn from the elders, from the native community. Those are experiences that you can never take away from them. They'll have them forever.
We can look at the design in nature, and that will also help us in thinking about how we're going to build our cities, how we're going to build our communities.
We are tearing ourselves and separating ourselves from nature at our peril. You can go to nature for nothing. And we need to build it into our programs in our schools so that we will transform our population into more caring and cooperative and people with more meaningful lives. Not only we should have that outdoor school in Paradise Valley, but we should have one up Indian Arm. We should have one in right in Burnaby Mountain there. All educational systems should have them.